All right, today we're going to talk about the invisible agreements that are controlling your life. Are you loyal to your future and best self, or are you loyal to the things that are keeping you exactly where you're at? Arash, let's jump right in. Why do you think people are so loyal to what's not getting them where they want to be?
Because a lot of the things they're doing, they never consciously chose. It was inherited, and whatever you obey controls you. So we want to start by looking at what is really controlling us. Like, what outcome keeps repeating in my life? That's a heck of a good question.
Yeah.
Like, if you keep looking at it, what behavior feels automatic, but I don't want it? So we want to understand, and an invisible agreement is a belief you live by for many years. It's like, I always talk about spiritual contracts. So it's this belief that you inherited, maybe through it was your parents, your grandparents, maybe it was through friends that you're no longer even friends with, but you don't even question it. So we want to start allowing you to break free from these contracts that are holding you really captive.
Yeah. You're so great with questions. And I think that so often we can see these agreements, these invisible agreements, these loyalties in other people very easily, but we're not looking at ourselves or asking ourselves the right questions to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, questions, once you ask a question, you get the answer right away. But I want everybody to think about what keeps showing back up in my life. Do I want this to keep showing back up? Understand, if it keeps showing up, you have an agreement.
Yeah.
You have an agreement that could have been 20 years ago, could have been 40 years ago. And you want to release that agreement. You want to observe it and then choose something different. That's how you release an agreement. But you have to decide, going back to our episode on decision, you have to decide, I'm done with this. And when you're done with it, you create a new agreement. But I want you to create an agreement that's worthy of you.
Raj, I've heard you say that if you want change, you have to change. And so is there, can you look at yourself and say, like, okay, if I want change, but I don't know where or how, you've got to look at these agreements somewhere. Like, what am I doing subconsciously? What am I doing without even thinking about it? What am I believing? And is that true? Is that right? Is that how I want to live?
The first thing I think about when you're saying this, like, each agreement is tied to an identity. So we've got to ask ourselves, is this the identity that I want? Does this agreement serve me any longer? Growth always threatens the identity, and your old identity is trying to hold on so tightly. And that's why it activates the agreement. It says, remember, this is just how we've always done things. So one of the things that we want to ask ourselves is, what identity am I being loyal to? Am I being loyal to the future version of me, or am I still being loyal to the old version of me? And then what version of me is threatened by this growth? It's always the old identity. I want to give you the answer right now. It's always the old. So you got to be strong enough when it shows up to not give into it.
That's a powerful word that you keep using, loyalty. Am I loyal to the future version? Am I loyal to the current or past version? Loyalty is a strong word, and I think that's such a great question to ask yourself, because you may not even realize that you're being loyal to a less version of yourself. And when you use a word like loyalty, you want to be loyal to the best version of yourself. You want to be loyal to the people you love. And if you love yourself, you want to be loyal to that version or what you really want or your goals, but you're not, because you're not paying attention. You're not thinking.
Well, what we want to do is create a clear framework for everybody. So when an agreement pops up, you're going to know, because that's the moment you hesitate. That's the moment you procrastinate. That's the moment you negotiate with yourself. That's the moment you overthink. So right when that comes up, I want in your mind to be like, oh, it's an old agreement. And then you've got to ask yourself, do I want to keep paying the price of that old agreement? We already talked about earlier what keeps repeating that you don't want to repeat. Well, when you identify it with those behavior characteristics of the agreement, of the hesitation, overthinking, and negotiation, and the procrastination, you're not going to do it anymore. That's how you beat the agreements, by auditing it and being aware when they come up. You say, no, that was the old me. I don't have that agreement anymore.
We've talked about being loyal to a past idea of ourselves, but I think so often people are also loyal to other people's idea of them. Like, they think, well, I can't do that because this person thinks that I'm this way, or what will they think of me if I do something different? Or I'm supposed to fit perfectly into X box, right? And so they're not even looking at a version of themselves that they chose. They're looking at, well, this person thinks this way of me, so I have to fit in that box.
Well, most people are not the star in their own life. They're the supporting actor or actress in their own life. And so what type of life do you want to create? So what we have to do is decide who do I want to be? Like, what do I want to create? In the next 12 months, what is the life I want to create? In the next 6 months, what is the life I want to create? In the next 90 days, what is the life I want to create? So you got to decide what type of life do you want to create? But you also want to understand the agreements hide in justifications. Every time you rationalize, every time you make an excuse, those are what you want to pick up. Oh, I'm rationalizing. There's an agreement to that. Or I'm justifying. There's an agreement to that. So a lot of people's agreements are, I don't want to be more successful than my parents. Or I don't want to outgrow my spouse, because what if they don't like me anymore? So these are all invisible agreements that keep holding us stuck in a self-imposed prison.
And I think that whenever you say them out loud, they sound a little ridiculous. But if you've just got them tucked away into this invisible agreement and you never say them out loud, you don't understand how ridiculous they are.
Yeah.
Once you realize that you have this invisible agreement and you become aware of it, what do you do next?
You have to revoke it. You have to decide, I'm done with this. And then you do the opposite of that agreement. So what does it mean revoke? It's firm. Like, this is just not a part of me anymore. But you always want to replace it with something much greater than that. And then that becomes your new agreement. Like when I was failing, I had to get rid of that agreement that it was okay that I tolerate just getting by, living paycheck to paycheck. I had to create a new agreement that I was going to create a life of freedom. That was an agreement that I created. So I had to get rid of the old agreement to allow the new one to come in. It's like a habit. When you create a habit, the best way, when you eliminate a bad habit, there's going to be another habit that's going to take its place. So we want to create an empowering habit that revokes the old habits. Same thing with these invisible agreements.
I wanted to share one quick thing and then we'll get right back to the show. If you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you've probably realized that the conversations that we have here are different from most of the content online. We're not focused on quick tactics or surface level motivation. The work that we do at Voss Coaching Co. is centered on identity, thinking, and processes that actually create lasting results. That is one of the things we are so passionate about, and one of the reasons we started this podcast and Voss Coaching Co. to begin with. Many of the people who work closely with us first discovered us through this podcast. They listened for months, sometimes years, and eventually reached a point where they realized they didn't just want more information, they wanted direction and proximity. If that resonates with you, I would love to invite you and encourage you to reach out to our team. Send us an email to hello@vosscoachingco.com. Introduce yourself, let us know a little bit about what you're doing, what your goals are, what you're working towards, and our team will personally review your message and connect with you to see if there's an opportunity for us to help. Again, that email is hello@vosscoachingco.com. All right, now right back to the episode.
An invisible agreement that a lot of people have, or a really common one, is I don't have time. And they're so committed and loyal to not having time for what they really want or to create the dream life. And so it's just, they've accepted it. They're so loyal to that idea that they've accepted it's not going to happen for me, at least right now, because I don't have time. How would you replace that one specifically?
Well, first of all, time is the greatest fallacy.
Yeah.
But it's also our greatest currency, because we never know how much time we have. A lot of people say, well, when the kids go off to school or when life gets easier. Life doesn't get easier. We don't want an easy life. We want to become better. So we're going to have challenges. Adversity is what prepares us for our next level of greatness. So you remember when I was saying that an agreement will always come with a justification? You just gave me one right there.
Ah, there we go.
So there was a justification. I don't have enough time. Or what are they going to think? Or can I really do this? There's all these agreements. Well, what tells you can't do it? What tells you don't have the time? Like I always tell people, look at what you're doing in a week and just chart it out. I'm going to find you 20 to 40 free hours in a week of things you're spending time on that are not creating any type of lift in your life.
Yeah. So what do you replace that with?
The opposite of whatever the agreement is. I have plenty of time. I can only manage my activities, not time. Time can't be managed. My activities can be managed. So you've got to reframe it and bulletproof it in your favor.
Yeah. I'll tell you something that I've done in the past that has helped, and I'll just use the same example because it's easy, is I like to think of someone else who has far less time than I do. I mean, I know we all have the same amount of time, but has far more to do with their time than I do. Or somebody who has a different or more challenging circumstance than me that has created the results that I'm looking for. So it's like that little bit of inspiration, like, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, you're modeling. You're seeing what they're doing, and you're saying, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So you're using it, kind of comparing in a good way. Usually I don't like comparing anything, but you want to look at what's possible. So like what we want to start getting into is like, what are the agreements that would automatically create success for people?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I want everybody to start really journaling. If I created the best 90 days of my life, what agreements would I have with myself?
Let's jump in. What are some examples?
I mean, I do everything right away. Everything I touch turns into gold. Every part of my life is effortless. I have the most amazing relationships. I've improved my confidence. I trust myself completely. These are new agreements that we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm focused. I'm disciplined.
I mean, we can go, I live completely emotionally free. So what we're doing is we're creating and installing a new agreement that's overriding the old agreement.
So would you recommend that someone look at the negative agreements they may have first and then start journaling out new agreements, or just start from journaling out what agreements would it take to get where I want to go?
Well, I think you got to look at both sides. So you got to do an audit and observe, because if we just go into the new agreements, we're not going to be able to catch when the old agreements come up. So we want to catch when the old agreements come up so we can install the new. So I would look at it neutrally, though. Don't look at the agreements as negative. Just look at them that I've outgrown these. I don't want this in my life. So you come from a place of wholeness, and then you write out the opposite of that agreement, or maybe it's not the opposite. Maybe it's just some new agreement you want as part of you, you know, and that's how you want to look at it, because there's a lot of agreements that are outdated and they're coming from the past.
Mm-hmm.
The past is triggered inside of us because subconsciously, our subconscious mind, since we were born, it has taken in every impression, every experience. So it'll come up as something reminds you of it. So you got to ask yourself, it doesn't mean you're recreating the past, but it's telling you haven't let it go completely. So we want to understand and leave the past where the past deserves to be, in the past. Mm-hmm. Like, you want to let the dead bury the dead, as Wallace Waddle said. You want to let the past be completely gone, and then you want to build a new model of who you're going to be. So you always put your energy, once you do the audit, on the new, and you only focus on, this is who I'm going to be now. These are my new invisible agreements.
So then when you're focused on building the new model, let's say that one of the old agreements comes up. Do you simply use that as a trigger to refocus your attention onto the new agreement?
I would just say, oh, it's still, the residual's still there. I'm done with that. You know, I would just look at it so neutrally. I wouldn't give it power. I wouldn't fight it. I'd be like, oh, it came up again. That's all right, because this is my new model now.
Yeah.
And the more you do that, though, Mike, what happens is it's going to come less and less and less.
Yeah. Is this another one of those things that there's always another level? Like, obviously, I had far worse agreements 20 years ago than I have now, but there's still some agreements that need to be revamped and up-leveled.
5 years from now, you're going to be like, gosh, the 2026 version of me, I can't believe those were my agreements. Because the journey of growing, like, you're going to outgrow all of what 2026, 2027, 2028 and beyond. But like, you can compare it now to 2025. If you look at like, what were my agreements in 2025? I can't believe I had those.
Yeah.
Because you now are at a different place than what you were there.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It's kind of like you said, if you get to the end of the year and you look back, how are you going to feel if you didn't achieve, or if you achieved the same results, right? How are you going to feel if you're not disappointed, if you don't have, different beliefs, different agreements with yourself? That would be so unfortunate.
It'd be the worst. I mean, to me, it'd be the worst, because that tells me that I wasted a year.
Yeah.
I don't want to waste a year. I want to have the most amazing experiences. I want to have where I could look at myself and be like, God, you did so many bold moves. Like, that's what creates self-respect. People don't have self-respect because they're so tied to the old agreements. Mm-hmm. They're so tied to their comfort zone. That is the biggest agreement we gotta squash. That it's tolerating being comfortable. Nobody likes being comfortable. They think they do. They don't. They just know what comfortable feels like. But every time you do something uncomfortable, you feel so much better about yourself. You're prouder about yourself.
Yeah. Arash, there's going to be one key idea that you want our listeners to take away from today's episode on these invisible agreements. What is it?
Audit them. Create new ones. Because it is going to hold you back to where you can be.
And how often should they be auditing?
Every day. Just like when it comes up, you're like, oh, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not what I want. But see, our philosophy is our automatic operating system. And you want to really create the philosophy that's in harmony with who you want to be, like where you want to be at the end of your goal. Like you have to have your philosophy match that.
All right, Arash, thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. If you enjoyed today's episode, go ahead and leave us a rating and a review or share this with your friends and family. We'll see you next week with another episode of the 7-Figure Standard podcast.
Thank you for listening to this episode of 7-Figure Standard. We hope you found the insights and strategies helpful on your journey to success. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform to help us reach more people like you. To learn more about Arash and Mikey and how Voss Coach & Co. can help you achieve your goals and reach new levels of success, visit vosscoachandco.com. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of 7-Figure Standard.